I'm coming in loud and clear. Might hear me on the radio. Breaker, breaker, 19. Anybody got their ears on?
Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Hey, before I get into tonight's video, I just want to remind you that we have a website, Farpoint Farms, with an S at the end, .com. They got forums over there, so I hope you'll head on over there and join the community, join the conversations that are going over there, censorship free, which is always a nice thing. And of course, I do have a second channel, which is getting popular every day. That is Farpoint Farms Restorations and Repairs. I hope you'll head on over there. We do a lot of automotive content, as well as like repair videos, demonstrations of tool usage, all that stuff. So be sure to check them out as well. But on to tonight's video. Retevis is here, and I know how I got last video, Retevis, and they're like, there's only one R. Hey, you know what? It's Retevis to me, okay? You guys can live with that. Retevis can live with it, so can you. Retevis RB86 is the model I'm taking a look at tonight. It is a GMRS radio. We are going to go over that in tonight's video, and then in a later video, we're going to do a little bit of a range test between a handheld GMRS radio that I got and this. We're going to see how well it performs. This is a pretty fancy radio, as you can see. It even comes with a disc. That's a good indication that things are going on here. So it is waterproof, sort of, and it does have emergency weather channels, and it has an emergency alarm, and it has a remote kill, which is kind of cool. That's interesting, isn't it? Retevis. I like Retevis better, guys. I'm sorry. A lot of pages, a lot of stuff going on here. Wow. Okay, how many pages are there? Wow, okay, well, there's a lot of pages. 37, and not including the warranty. There's our channels, 30 channels. And we do have 20 watt available power out, except for the FRS channels. Those are 5 watts out, but still 5 watts is not chump change, right? 200 channel capability. There's your voltage operations. Nice. Right on. Okay, well, let's take a look at what's in the box here. So we do have a programming cable and a CD with the information to program with. That's kind of nice. Then we have our main radio. We'll go ahead and slip that out. Boy, that's a heavy little booger right there. Wow, look at that. So we have a top fire speaker, it looks like. And that is, I mean, that is cast aluminum, but that thing could do some damage if you toss it at somebody. Don't do that, but it could. All right, we have a little screw back here for our USB port for programming. Up here, PL259 connector. We do have a fan on it, which tells you that she's putting out some power. And we have a nice fused power cable right here. The front does look like it has a nice color screen. And there is our plug for our microphone. Channel up and down, volume up and down, power on and off. We'll go through all that later. Nice, wow, double fused power supply. That's going to go to our power pack. Right here we have a bracket for mounting it, and over here we have mounting hardware plus a place to mount our microphone, and it does come with some spare fuses. These are mini fuses. That's interesting. And then lastly we have this, and slide this out. There we go. Check it out. Wow, that is stout. That's probably one of the more hefty microphones I've ever had, especially for GMRS. So we got direct input, a little hard to see, but we have a lot of secondary functions. VFO, call, menu, function, up, down, AB, mute. I can't read all of them. Volume, squelch. So a lot of these do more than one thing. So it looks like you're going to be able to do most of your functions right from the microphone, and you can see it's a very non-standard, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pin, very non-standard 6-pin microphone. I say non-standard, perhaps in the ham radios those are, but GMRS I'm not seeing too much that look like that usually. So there it is, the RB86. All right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. We'll go through some of its features and functions. I say some, not all. And then in a follow-up video, sometime over the spring or early summer, I'll install it, and we'll do some range tests between this and one of the other GMRS handhelds that they have graciously sent me over the years, RB86. Very cool. Let's do it. Wow. Okay, here we go. We've got it all plugged in, and this is going to be a treat. Press and hold. And what we ended up with here is a full color screen, and that alone is something you just don't see a lot on GMRS radios. Makes me wonder, you know, and I'll have to dig into the manual as time goes on. GMRS mobile radio, but I wonder if it's programmable into just regular ham bands. That's something I'll have to check on. I don't know. Also worth noting, the entire thing is backlit. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can kind of see the glow, right? So that is convenient at night, I'm sure. All right, so I've been playing just a little bit with this thing since we turned it on. Let me back the camera out just a smidge. I want to make sure you guys are getting all this. But if we press the function button and then press the 1, we go into scan mode, and you can see it roll through. What might be a little hard to see is right over here. It's very small, but we have our channel numbers as well as our frequency. So we are moving through on scan at the top, but we also have what's called a dual watch. And that is, if I want to stop that scan, right, I can switch between the dual watch here. Yeah, so we have a lot going on here. We have our function you can control from here, go into our menu. We have squelch controls on board, and there's our A-B switch. So, right, if I want to go there, let's see if function will give a scan on the lower. Right, so function, A and B. So if I want to monitor a specific station, I can do that. CTS and tone control is here. I mean, this thing has just got a lot going on here. Let me see if I can get into the, we'll get into the menu, function menu here. So some of the main things that this has going for it, it has 1750, 2100, 1000, and 1450 tone control. It automatically powers down 200 programmable memorized channels, and so that includes, you know, having your CTCSS codes or DCS codes. So just remember they got all that. Bandwidth, we can change the bandwidth, 25K for wide, 20K for middle, or 12.5K for narrow band. So there's just a lot going on with this thing. As far as setup goes, you can see it wasn't that complicated. Plug it in. You're going to want, you know, for 20 watts output, you're going to want at least a 10 amp if you're going to run this as a base. For car use, you know, 15, 20 amp fuse is going to be more than enough for it. But you know, remember, this unit is already fused by itself. Of course, you're going to want a GMRS antenna. I've got this hooked to one up on the roof right now. And then let's just go through some of these buttons here. We got this one here. This is our output control. Press and hold. And we're going to be switching into lock. Press and hold the like short, right? Press that. You can see it go. Right, and you press and hold a long period of time. There we go, and we lock it. Right, so a lot going on here. We'll go through some of that stuff. So go back into function. We have time on. All right, let's try that again. So we got function modes here. 1 minute time on talk. You can change that up or down. Right, we'll go ahead and leave that out. Want to have how long our backlight is on for. We're just going to say we're going to leave it on. Right, we'll leave that on for right now. We've got a mute button. We got the beep. There we go. We'll get rid of the beep. We have function again, and we can get rid of our power. So you can see the high turn on. Press it again. Medium. Press it again. Low. So that's how you change that. And let's see what else we got here. We have our lock button. I'm not going to go in there. But we can change our step. We can change our CTS. We can change our squelch. We'll go in there and change squelch up or down. We'll change it to 5. And then we have our volume. Then we also have menus. So we have signals, and let's see what we got here. Let's go into utilities, radio settings, signal select. So I want to go into, do I want, you know, what do I want? I want it off, right? So I want a function there. I'll just hit function. Squelch mode, let's go into that. CTS, all right, we can decode and encode that. We don't want to mess with that right now, so we'll just hit back button on that, back button on that. We can go down to busy. Look at all this stuff here. ID, tone ID, time on talk. We're back auto power off. I mean, it just keeps going, right? Let's go to scan mode and see what it says here if there's an opportunity for us. Yeah, we'll leave that as it is. Display mode, I think we've already gone into that, but we can go in. Yeah, let's go to channel mode. I don't want any of that. Let's just go to channel mode there. All right. Password lock, backlighting, skip channel, subscreens. I mean, there's just a lot going on here. And you get, of course, if you get way into screwing around with this thing and you don't like what you see, just hit the reset button. Right? Let's go into radio info, and it tells us our firmware. It looks like last time it was updated in August of 21, so probably not a bad idea to go on there and download an update for it. And you can see I've changed it now to channel, which I prefer if we're going to be messing with, I'll turn the volume up here. If we're going to be messing around on GMRS, I really don't need to know the frequency. I just need to know the channel, right? So, of course, in my area, there are 0 repeaters available. GMRS is just not very popular where I'm at. It's very popular in certain parts of the country. It's becoming more popular with ham users. I guess 2 meters so dead in most areas. The GMRS is a good alternative. Similar features and functions to a ham radio as far as 2 meter control goes. And certainly with a radio of this high end, you're looking at something that you can do an awful lot with. Now I'm going to install this in the car, and like I said, we'll do some range tests with it as time goes on. But yeah, pretty nice. Initial impressions are you're not going to be damaging that microphone. The cord looks to be of a high quality. That radio is definitely a high-end looking radio with the fan on there. So if you're doing a lot of talking and you manage to get the resistors hot, the finals hot, I should say, that fan's going to let you know that, hey man, maybe it's time to let somebody else speak for a while. At least that's my guess on that. But yeah, I guess that'll do it for tonight. The Retevis RB86, and I hope you enjoy this. I'll leave a link where you can pick one of these things up. Would I recommend this for beginner use? No. This is more of a ham radio style GMRS. In fact, like I think a week or two ago, I did the handheld that was also a digital screen, a pretty high-end GMRS radio. And so if you're looking into this, you're like the professional GMRS user. You're probably going to be the one that's using areas that have repeaters on GMRS, which is a cool hobby to get into. And so you're using it for stuff like that. For your average user, you're going to probably just want one of the more basic models that Retevis sells, which is just channel up, down, volume, and squelch, right? In scan mode if you get it. All of these are great radios, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell you not to get something like this. I'm just saying if you buy something like this, you're probably a power user, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Till next time, my friends, take care.